in view of the effects of the El Nino phenomenon, which is expected to persist until May 2024. Meanwhile, the DA assured the public that the supply of rice, corn, pork, and sugar, among other daily necessities, remain sufficient. Joining us this afternoon are Agriculture Undersecretary Roger Navarro and PCO Assistant Secretary Joey Villarama, who's a spokesperson for Task Force El Nino. Good afternoon. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. Secretary Kiko Laurel just briefed the President that all our crops commodities, especially for rice and corn, pork, and chicken, were a bit stable, and there will be no problem in these coming months. So we don't need to worry. Just relax, sit back, and watch the show.
Okay. Can we have an update on the status of El Nino from Assistant Secretary Joey?
Yesterday, the task force, El Nino, had its second meeting at the Office of Civil Defense. And Pag-asa, in its advisory or bulletin number 8, said that the effects of El Nino are expected, strong El Nino are expected to highly impact parts of the country this month of February. But as Ms. Daphne mentioned, El Nino is expected to persist until May 2024. So all the principal agencies involved in the task force, namely Department of National Defense, Department of Agriculture, Environment, Science and Technology, DILG, and even NEDA, and the Department of Energy have closely coordinated to implement mitigating measures to stave off the effects of El Nino.
Okay. That's a brief. Any questions? Jean Mangaluz, Inquirer.net.
Hi, Isaac. So you earlier said that we should just sit back and relax. So most of the agricultural products, are they coming from imports? Can you share use percentages on how many are imported and how much of the products are locally produced?
Yeah. Actually, for rice, for example, at least we need an importation volume of something like 330,000 metric tons per month, with an average daily consumption of about 37 metric tons per day. And we have a production of rice form, which is already about 13,000. So we need a balance of 2.8 or 2.6 million that we need to import from other countries. Normally, traditionally, we imported like 3.8 million metric tons from other ASEAN countries. And as to date, we already imported from January to now something like 590,000 metric tons, which is more than what we need for this month. So with the coming production, come March until April, May, June, so we will have an ample supply for rice.
Tuesday New.
Hi Sir Yusek. Sabi niyo nga hindi tayo kailangan mag-alala. Sit back and relax. We have ample supply, rice, corn, whatever. Pero sir, may marami supply. Ang problema sir yung presyo. Mayroon na rin tayong mga in-import na in-expect natin na yun sana yung magbabalanse o magpapababa ng presyo ng bigas. Pero ngayon sir, 59 pesos mayroon ako nakikita per kilo na bigas. Paano natin makakamit yung lower prices of rice?
You know, the challenge now is not more on prices, no? As we feel in the industry, it's more stabilizing the supply. Even if we have small price or low price, but if you do not have a supply, then we will have a problem. In the other countries, for example, in Vietnam, the price now is something like 48. In Thailand, it's something like 52. So we are not far, no? And they're supplying us with rice. So in other words, the challenge really is more stabilizing supply rather than price. It's better to have rice at 56 rather than no rice at 42. No, so we need to also rationalize our thinking that we cannot bring down the price because the input price, especially for fertilizers and seeds in the international market, is also going up to the ceiling. Unless we are going to buy 1 peso per bag of urea, and then we can sell 10 peso per kilo of rice.
Okay. Eden Santos, Net 25.
Sir, good afternoon po. Kanina po nabanggit ng FDA yung sa ASF at saka ng flu vaccine para sa ating mga sa ating agri-industry. Mukhang hindi naman sila pwedeng mag-invite directly. Ang DA po ba, anong pwede nilang maging papel para naman po merong mga mag-apply po na mag-supply sa atin itong mga vaccines na ito?
Actually, that's the biggest challenge, no? Last few weeks, we were in Vietnam together with the president, and we have talked to the different suppliers of ESF. And unfortunately, in the country, we have vaccines already, but it is not being approved by FDA. That's the challenge of DA. And the backyard is somehow gone. And we need to manage our ESF cases by way of really accessing to the supply of vaccines. No? So that's really one of the challenges that we have right now. Yes.
Sir, are you saying po na ang Pangulo ay nakipag-usap sa Vietnam para magkaroon po tayo ng magsusupply ng bakuna pero hindi inaprobahan ng FDA? Am I right?
Hindi po ang Pangulo. No? We were just there together with the Pangulo, but on the sides, we were talking to several suppliers, not only for vaccines, but also for rice. No? So on the sides. Because we were thinking, the Secretary of Agriculture was thinking that we need the supply for vaccines, and somehow we need to talk to them because we know from experiments and from news and from other sources, data from other sources, that Vietnam has successfully put up the vaccine for ESF. And right now, it's going to be commercialized. And we in the Philippines would like to get the stocks or the vaccine supply from Vietnam.
Pero but the FDA told us kanina po na kailangan pong mag-submit ng application yung mga bansa. May nag-submit na po ba?
I'm not privy to this because it should be FDA. Now, that's the reason why we wanted sana po magkaroon na lang kami ng sarili naming testing, no? Especially for agriculture, na hindi na lang kasama natin yung FDA. But anyway, ayan talaga ang government process. And mayroon nang nagdadala dito ng nagsarili sila at nag-experiment sila at successful naman sila. No, but it is not commercialized, yes.
Okay. Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN.
Sir, can you please elaborate? Because the FDA said no one is applying for permit for the commercial use of ASF vaccines in the Philippines. Have your counterparts from Vietnam told you why they weren't really formally applying for these permits?
I'm not privy to this. I'm sorry, I cannot speculate.
Sir, what about the local manufacturers that you were saying na nagsarili sila, na nag-experiment sila at success? Why
These are not local. These are vaccines coming from other countries. They bought it themselves. Unfortunately, we can say that this is just bought for their own risk. And they experimented, and it was successful. And we would like it to be approved. But we have processes in government that it should be accredited, tested, etc., approved by EPA. And we still would like FDA to have it approved for
Sir,
commercialization.
Sir, last follow-up from my end. Sir, what efforts are the DA actually doing to encourage these foreign manufacturers to formally apply for permits in the Philippines so that it can be sold commercially already?
Right now, because of the talks that we have in Vietnam, we really encourage them to apply, and we really encourage them to get in touch with the authorities so that we'll be able to get their approvals. And the DA secretary has already put forward the intention to help them in this regard. And I understand that there was a discussion this morning, and we hope that with the discussion this morning, it will fast-track the approvals and supply of ESF in the country.
Okay. Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi, Yusek. Just a clarification. Sir, ito pong kausap ninyo sa Vietnam na vaccine manufacturers, did they express interest in applying?
Yeah, more than 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ano daw po yung nangyari? Bakit up until now hindi pa rin sila nag-a-apply if that's the case?
I'm sorry, Mom, but I cannot speculate any answers for this, and I just hope that we will be able to hope and pray that these companies from abroad will have themselves registered to FDA or EPA so they can supply us.
And you mentioned earlier, sir, na kung pwede, payagan na lang na kayo na lang yung mag-test. What do you mean by that, sir?
There are tedious process in government, not only on vaccines, but also on permits, for example, in agricultural supplies and agricultural products that goes through the FDA. And somehow, issuance of LTO, all of these things, Ma'am, I'm sorry, but these are government processes that we need also to respect and somehow.
Okay, next question. Okay, Alan Francisco, PTV4.
My question is for ASEC Villarama. Sir, you mentioned that high impact of El Nino will be experiencing in other parts of the country this month. How are these provinces or places are preparing? Ano po yung efforts or assistance ng government, national government?
First off, a bit of good news. Kung dun sa initial or dun sa last report ng Pag-asa, 50 provinces ang affected. Ngayon ay na-reduce na lang to 41. So we have 17 provinces experiencing dry condition. Meron tayong 10 provinces experiencing dry spell. And then 14 provinces experiencing drought. So from the task force or the macro perspective, may ginagawa ang task force and the principal agencies. In terms of agriculture, for example, there is an ongoing repair of irrigation canals para mas efficient yung pag-supply ng water. And then meron ding inputs and implements for irrigation that are being given to farmers of the most affected areas, which are Region 9 and Region 6. So that's Western Visayas and the Zamboanga Peninsula. In terms of seedlings, nagbibigay din po, or seeds rather, nagbibigay din po ang DA, and there's social protection and alternative means of livelihood doon po sa nasa lanta o naapektuhan talaga. So as the President has emphasized, our approach to El Nino is number one, intervention, number two, mitigation, and then we enjoin everyone. It's a whole of government approach. So maganda din siguro sa may mga bureau sa probinsya to go to the provinces and tap maybe your regional correspondents to see what the regional offices of DA, of DSWD, of DNR are doing to help stave off the effects of El Nino.
Sir, kung meron man, anong mga challenges?
obviously maraming challenges because this we are fighting against nature. But as I said, medyo nagkaroon tayo ng relief because obviously there is still the amihan season. So hindi pa kainitan yung nai-experience natin ngayon. And then as reported by the agencies in the task force meeting yesterday, water supply is still sufficient in Metro Manila and provinces. Electricity supply is also sufficient. Food supply, as Yusek said, is sufficient. The challenge is, of course, to anticipate based on models what the effects, unforeseen effects. Yun yung yung hindi natin mafo-foresee o makikita. Yun ang kailangan. So, off the top of my head, paano po kung biglang yun nga tumaas ang temperatura, bumaba ang dam water levels, may masirang irrigation inputs doon sa mga regions na affected. So basically the challenge is for the unforeseen events. But as I said, as the President mentioned in his speech in Davao last week, under Bagong Pilipinas, we try to nip the problem in the bud, not let them catch us off guard.
Jean Mangalus, Inquirer.net.
Hi, sir. Can I just go back to a topic earlier? So, you said na the priority is stabilizing the supply of rice over prices. So, what happens if the supply, if only a few could afford rice because the prices are so high, can we expect it to naturally go down?
No. Actually, it was suggested in the meeting that we have the 4-piece, for example, for DSWD. We told the President that if we can convert the 4-piece in terms of money, instead of money, it should be on rice form, supplied by NFA. So we will take them out in the price pressures of the market in terms of buying high-price rice. These are 20% all over the country, which are the vulnerable poor under DSWD, that is a beneficiary for 4-piece, and we're giving them money. And unfortunately, because that is not rice, they're going to buy rice in the market price. And that put pressure and inflationary in the market, because they're going to compete with the people who have money and them with only 4-piece. If we can convert the 4-piece by way of supplying them rice instead of money through NFA, then probably the inflation for rice will go down.
Sir, follow-up. How did the President react to this suggestion?
The President is saying that we will consider the proposal, and they will take a look on how to implement this proposal.
Okay, Sam Medanilia, all the way in the back.
Good morning, good afternoon. Itatanong lang po namin kung magkano na po ba yung estimated damage ng El Nino sa agriculture as of now. At saka if this is within the target of DA.
Sa ngayon, wala pa naman damage. Okay.
There is a reported figure of 150 million, I think.
Maliit lang yan.
That's basically, again, as I said, from regions 9 and 6. So the bulk of that damage is in rice and corn. But as Yusek said, hindi pa naman siya ganoong kalaki. So just to break it down, for rice, it's 141.24 million, and then for corn, that's 10.04 million. So, two regions pa lang po ang severely affected, but as I said, the task force is doing all it can to help the farmers affected by the situation.
Earlier na-mention po na ang pinaka-peak raw po ng El Nino is mga February or March. So parang ito na po ba yung worst na damage or pababa na? Or pwede pa po itong tumaas eventually?
Strong El Nino is expected to persist until this month. And then hopefully by March, April, May, magpe-persist pa rin siya. But I'm not sure, because this is very technical, I'm not sure if we will still categorize it as strong El Nino. And then by June, yun na po yung tinatawag na Southern Oscillation, neutral, which is neither El Nino or La Nina, sorry. But in terms of the work of the task force and the government, we are forward-looking to mitigate the effects until maybe June to September. So hindi porke ma-terminate yung strong El Nino or maging Southern Oscillation neutral na siya, titigil na po ang trabaho ng task force to help those severely affected.
Tapos on another matter, magtatanong lang po kami, earlier na mention rin po yung ng FDA yung may JAW raw po na isa-sign regarding dun sa veterinary vaccine for avian flu and ASF. Ano po ba yung gist nung JAW na pipirma ng FDA tsaka DA?
Wala pa kaming idea po.
Sige. Thank you.
Pare-pareho lang tayo po.
It's another division. Okay. Alvin Baltazar, Radio Pilipinas.
Yusek or Asek Joey Villarano. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, kanina sa sectoral meeting with the President, meron bang bagong directive ang Pangulo tungkol doon sa paghahanda natin sa El Nino? And na-present ba kay Pangulo kung ilan most probably yung mga magsasakang maapektuhan nito ng tagtuyot?
In terms of the number of farmers to be affected, I don't have an exact figure. But the cluster meeting today was not specifically about El Nino. But yesterday, as I mentioned, the second meeting of the El Nino Task Force, presided over by Secretary of National Defense Teodoro, and the co-chair is DOST Secretary Solidum. So there were presentations about the deliverables and the interventions that will be made by each principal sector. So we do not, personally, I have to check my notes. I do not have a specific number in terms of the individual farmers that will be affected. But again, rest assured that this is constantly being monitored, and that whatever the number will be, whatever the number is, the task force and the government will help these affected farmers and individuals.
Salamat, Asek. A follow-up lang kay Yusek. Yusek Navarro, yung pag-usapan natin yung buffer stock ng food natin, and mukhang mahagip kasi ng El Nino yung hanggang April. Okay ba yung buffer stock ng pagkain natin to feed the Filipino?
Yeah, actually, ang buffer kasi ngayon, kinoconsider na natin after RTL is a private sector concern. No, mayroon tayong buffer for NFA na konti, at ang malaking food security talaga na ginagawa natin is in the concerns in the responsibility ng rice importers. That's the reason why na mayroon tayong RTL. Yung RTL kasi inopen natin yon kasi sinasabi natin na for so long a time, napakalaki yung importation. So yung importation ngayon, i-open natin yon. So nandoon yung supply sa ating mga importers. Ang challenge naman din, siyempre, ang ating NFA is buying buffer through local production. No? Kulang lang nga siya ng ating modernization, yung dryers, silo, and all of these things, no? Which the President has recently approved in the last cabinet meeting natin, last month yata, on the 93 billion project for post-harvest facility. You know? So yun yung challenge natin. But as I said a while ago, that the importation of rice, supposedly to hurdle something like 300 plus per month, as of today, it's already more than almost 600. In other words, hindi pa tayo Bukas pa kasi yung Valentine's, di ba? So, umabot na tayo ng almost 600, di ba? So, in other words, we will be more comfortable with the consumptions, no? So, huwag kayong mag-alala kung sino yung mga mahal niyo sa buhay, maroon pa rin siyang bigas. Regaluhan ng bigas.
Creselyn Catarong, SMNI.
Good afternoon po. Pwede bang makahingi ng details po sir regarding po doon sa plano pa ng DA doon sa pag-suspend po ng minimum access volume sa pork and corn po?
Okay. Hindi kasama sa meeting yan kanina, no? So, pero anyway, we'll just give you some insights, no? MOB kasi as rules, di ba? Kasi mayroon tayong mga agreements with other country, bilaterals, no? And ang MOB kasi may volume yan na mga commitment para sa other countries and us, no? And siguro binabase lang natin ito doon sa ating tinatawag na Executive Order or Administrative Order 10 na binawasan natin yung ating taripa for rice, corn, and poultry and pork, no? And it has been there for about 3 years, no? And nag-aalburuto yung ating local producer, no? Kaya sinasabi natin sa DA, it will be a remiss on us coming from the private sector. We are not from DA. We are from private sector together with the secretary that we will not show our concern to the local producers. Now, to support the local producers, we would like to show our concern by saying that we should give them reprieve, no? And these issues now is just put in the table for discussions, no? Kasi alam naman natin na ang MOB kasi ginagamit ito ng technical smuggling, no? So we need to stop technical smuggling. And ito yung tinitingnan namin na one way to stop or eliminate technical smuggling is going away with MOB, no? Pero siyempre may mga sektor na mag-alburuto din, 'di ba? Pero sinasabi namin siguro i-rationalize natin yung MOB. Kung sino yung processor, siya yung may karapatan na mag-import ng MOB. Kung sino yung mga traders, medyo tadahanin natin, no? Kasi ang nangyari, ang napakaraming volume na nakukuha ng MOB, yung mga traders, at nangyayari yung mga meat products nila nandoon sa ating wheat market, na nagkukumpit sila doon sa ating mga local producers. Now, for us to show our concern, our support to the local farmers and local producers, it would be a remiss if we're not going to do this. But this is a plan, hindi pa ito final because it has to be discussed in the economic clusters. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes our briefing today with the Department of Agriculture and Task Force El Nino. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps.